How FAQ videos save you time, educate your customers, and work for you 24/7.
Let's get into it.
Video Mavericks, the small business video marketing podcast. Presented by Workshop Media. With your hosts, Brett and Jeff, sharing a combined 40 years of video production and marketing experience. Take it away.
All right, so imagine having a team member who just answers questions all the time, over and over again, can educate your prospects and even help you close sales, all while you sleep.
It sounds like a perfect person that's going to be super busy.
That's right. Yeah. So that's what FAQ videos can do for you without the payroll headache. You can have them just you can have as many of them as you want and use them in any number of ways. But you don't actually have to have a person that's got to repeat themselves over and over again. So in today's episode, we're going to break down exactly why FAQ videos are one of the most powerful marketing and sales tools for your business, and how you can implement them.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, we might call it like low-hanging fruit when you're thinking about video content. This is one that's just kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and they're easy to do.
Yeah.
They're really easy.
Absolutely. So FAQ videos, they answer some of the most common customer questions. So
what is an FAQ?
Frequently asked questions. So
in the event that you didn't.
Yeah, frequently asked questions. So we see it a lot on websites. You navigate through the page and eventually you're going to get to a spot where they have questions that other customers have asked or that they continue to feel like they're having to answer in one way or another. So FAQ videos are, well, in some way, one of the easiest ways to come up with topics for videos because they're generated by a very obvious need because your customers are asking the questions already.
Mm-hmm. It's likely you have this data. You already have answered the question, or you've received this in some way, a DM, an email, a call, somebody in your shop. You know this information.
Yep.
You don't have to think through concepts for videos. You could just make every question a video.
Yep.
Right? So they matter because they can help you streamline communication, right? They can help you get to the point a little quicker.
Aside from freeing up someone's time, having FAQ, I guess whether it's written or in video, is an opportunity to really curate the answer to those questions. So if you have someone that's answering the phone and they're getting the same question Monday through Friday, 10 times a day, there's a chance that Monday morning the answer to that question is slightly different than the answer on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, right.
And so if you're curating the answer and vetting it through your team and through your brand story and your strategy, and you're writing it down and putting it in a video, your customer's going to get the perfect answer every single time, and that allows you to have a little bit more control over your message.
That's right. So why should every business have them?
They're trust builders, first and foremost. You're there answering your customer's question directly, very likely, resolving some concerns that they may have that led to that question.
Yeah,
providing additional clarity for them.
Yeah, you may answer a question they didn't have yet. Right? You're sort of pre-selling them.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Getting them to you with more information to sort of start the race halfway through,
Sure.
So let's cut to the chase and actually have a greater connection when that time comes.
Yep.
So the pre-sell aspect of it's really, really important. Another great reason why every business should have an FAQ would be to improve the customer's experience with your business.
Sure. Yeah. So you're showing them that you care about the thing that they're concerned about, and that you are actively making an attempt to make things easier on them.
Yep.
So, just by that logic, it should be a better customer experience.
And you could say, too, the experience could be about their experience with your website, the experience with your business at surface level. I do have FAQs already. Well, they have to read through all those answers now. What if you make a human connection by somebody from your organization or a spokesperson of your business delivering the information as if they asked the question,
Or even better, you go and meet them on the platforms that they're already on with the answer to those questions.
Right.
And not requiring them to come over to your website, scroll to page 4, and read 200 to 400 words.
Yeah. So it sounds like what we're saying is increase conversions faster, get there, have fewer doubts, remove any objections they may have, and potentially get to sales quicker.
Yeah.
And they're very easy to do if I hadn't said that already. So what are some examples? Some examples of how businesses could use them?
A gym might, like a fitness gym may have a video that answers what you should bring to the first session with a trainer.
That's easy. I mean, like,
what should I bring to that first session? Do I need to show up with my own weights?
How about a consultant?
Yeah.
What's the process of working with my firm like?
Yeah. Or something as simple as a return policy. Everybody's looking for a way out. What if you tell them their way out, but tell them in a way that, read between the lines is you're not going to need that. Don't worry. Right. You're not going to need it. I got you.
It is a 90-day policy, but we are very confident with what we offer that you're not going to want to take advantage of this.
Right.
But the information is still there for you.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So why are they so powerful? We're touching on it here and there, but
yeah, for you in your business, why are they powerful? They're going to, they save you time.
That's right.
Ultimately, the manpower that it takes to answer that question over and over again is taking away from something else that could be happening.
Mm-hmm. It's more thought on a repetitive thing.
Yeah.
You remove that.
That makes me think, like, what if no one published their hours? Right. So what if we never knew when a business was open because it was never shared?
Yeah.
And someone had to call and ask every single time.
I like where you're headed here. Every time, like, you guys open?
Yeah. They have to call every time and ask the same question. That seems ridiculous, right? Like no one would do that. And FAQ is kind of that same logic, just applied a layer or two deeper to other questions. And if you sort of think about it now, I would never hide where my business is or hide when I'm open.
So let's not hide or let's remove the clouds, the fog around. What's the process like?
Yeah.
Do you have a return policy? Explain how the sales process works.
Yeah.
Like, what do I gain out of utilizing your product or service? Any of that stuff. So
in addition to it saving time, it's also FAQ videos can work for you in helping you connect with a customer who may be trying to interact with your business when you're not available.
Yeah, right. So everybody wins, I guess is what we're saying. The business owner, the business team, they could just get off work and be done working, or a customer that wants to scroll on their phone at 11:45 at night because they thought, oh man, I wonder. I can't call them, whatever. They're going to get a connection. They're going to be able to, on whatever platform, because these are great everywhere, they're going to be able to get a connection with your business. And so you're selling without selling because these videos will work for you 24/7. They'll always be available. Yeah, and we've said it, but don't forget, you're answering questions that other people have proven to have. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So a human rep, a salesperson, you, the owner, you're eventually going to not be working. So these are going to work for you. Yep. And I guess at a fundamental level, people just don't like uncertainty. They don't want to have a question that goes unanswered. Yep. And, we've said it, we'll say it again. You're there for them with a question that they already have. And if you're helping to provide any clarity for someone who's looking for it, you're going to increase the trust in your brand and you're going to make yourself more approachable. Yeah. Think about a restaurant. That's a great one. Do you have any gluten-free options? Yeah, it'd be a shame to show up and then have to ask the question at the And how many times do you think that, over and over again, you gotta, that's going to be a question that's frequently asked, right? Yeah. So, that's a great one. How do I install this product is another one. Yeah. Like think about that. If you don't have a FAQ video or series to go out on all your different platforms, email marketing, everything, like it seems like, man, if you hadn't thought of it yet and we're saying it now and you're thinking of it, it's kind of a no-brainer. Maybe a completely contrary perspective on this would be there may be some cases where you need to get to no faster. You need to get to the answer no, that we are not that quicker. Yeah. So if you're consistently getting confused with someone else or getting confused with people thinking that you do something that you don't do or you offer a thing that you don't offer, and that's taking up resources away from the customers that you do serve, it could be as simple as question number 4 is, no, that's not us. Right.
You're still providing clarity and you're being trustworthy and honest, but you may be let's just skip past the point where we do a whole thing and it's not going to lead anywhere.
That's right. And here's a crazy thought. You might even direct this non-customer to the right place, provide value to them still.
Yeah.
It's not for them to engage with your business any longer, but look, I do have an answer for you and it is over there.
Yep.
And something we don't really talk about is the business owner, the value you get subconsciously, the energy you can retain.
Yeah.
What freedom is this creating inside of your psyche? And I hate to get so deep, but as a business owner myself, creating these assets removes, and thinking through processes and applying video to it removes a lot of uncertainty, a lot of mystery around thought, because you're on repeat with some of these things.
Yeah.
Do we have gluten-free options? You start dreaming about it. I answer this over and over again. The video's doing the work for me now on a great number of channels and platforms.
And in the video format, you still get to be yourself and you still get to deliver your message the same way you would either in person or on a call. So it's particularly special as compared to being text on a screen.
Yep. So another thing to consider, or another benefit on why to use FAQs for your business would be
Google rankings,
SEO, search engine optimization. Having that additional back end support to help you rank higher.
To go maybe super nerd for just a second. You can actually go on and using Google tools and find out what people are searching for. And
super nerd.
Super nerd. And see what people are searching for that's related to your industry and your area, and answer questions that maybe you didn't get asked, but are getting, maybe they didn't get asked of you directly, but are getting asked in your area of your industry, and you go ahead and provide that answer because people are looking for it anyway. And those tools exist, and that's really neat. And if you provide the answer, now you're going to be part of the machine that's going to feed that answer. And the more people search it, and the more often you show up, the more people you're going to be in front of. So
you become that number one spot in this sort of, is a little bit kind of blends into the authority kind of space. If your product or service or what you offer is tied to your expertise, and then in that industry, you now have the most video content on it. You're the most connected, the most human to this customer base. Yep. And the internet is doing its thing and it's crawling. Yep. Google's crawling your stuff. I mean, all of these, it's just more and more reason why you should be doing it.
Yeah.
You know? So, all right, let's get into how to create effective FAQ videos. How do you do it?
Yeah, so it's going to start with just understanding what your customers are asking, and you could be getting that information from a whole host of different places. You might have email chains, you might have chat transcripts from your website, you might have DMs in your social media, you may have just a conversation with your front of shop staff. You need to understand what people are asking so that you can start to form answers to those questions. And, that's not always a one size fits all, but when you're thinking about your business, where the questions come in.
That's right.
And if you're not capturing those questions, you should definitely start capturing those questions in some way.
You'll be able to count at just right off the bat the questions that you could answer, even if they're not frequently asked. Just ask yourself, what would my target audience, my customer, what would they ask me? Or what are the top 5 things that I think they should know before they walk into my store, before they call me.
Ask the question for them.
Ask the question for them, and then answer it for them, right? So there another you kind of talked about it, your front end staff. Like if you have a sales team or reps or customer service or support, they're hearing objections all the time. Yeah, right. They're on the daily. They have that feedback, and if you're not getting reports from them, start doing that. And you can just have a meeting with them and say, what are you tired of talking about? What assets could we create? What are you guys talking about in there?
What are you tired of hearing about?
What assets would help you? If we created a series of FAQs, what would help you do your job better? What would make our customers' experience better? So, all right. So the next thing, you just collect all your questions. The next thing will be what?
Figuring out, number one, what you need to know the answer to your questions. But once you have an answer to your questions, figure out how to get that stuff down to a tight script, so to speak. So direct answers to direct questions. Don't go veering off target, but script it out and understand how you're going to deliver the information to people in a succinct clear way.
Keep it short and sweet. A snackable piece of content.
Yep.
We like to say if you're in an elevator, right? If you only got that much time, how are you going to answer that question before they have to step off and continue on their journey?
Yep. Every single one of these is like a mini pitch. So you ask a question, answer that question. If you can sneak in, something that advances your mission into your answer, that's best case scenario. But at the very least, answer the question directly.
Yep. That's great. So like we talked about earlier, what's your refund policy? Keeping it short and sweet instead of it being, well, our refund policy is pretty extensive. It's a 10-step process and it really requires, we offer a hassle-free 30-day return. You just send it back in the original packaging. More information is located on our website.
And that's key. The more information bit, you don't have to give away everything. We're using video to get people in.
We don't want to replace the human connection.
Yeah, we're using video to get people in, to make sure that your content is searchable, it's viewable, it's ranking high, and you're connecting with people. So if you have a 25-page return policy, let's save that for the conversation, because you may be able to talk them out of the return. But if you give them the roadmap over the course of a 9-minute video, they're not going to watch it, and you're still going to have to explain it. Yeah,
and maybe thinking through this thinking through the process of making the video, you go, maybe this could be a 19-step return policy instead of a 25-step. We have seen it where you develop a video, you go, this has kind of made me think a little bit about.
Should simplify.
Yeah, it should simplify. Yeah. But okay, so keeping it personal and engaging, be authentic. You're having this opportunity to connect with them before connecting with them.
Yeah, we really like doing and have done a lot of these direct camera, very clean,
speak
aesthetic.
Directly to the audience.
Yeah, keep it super authentic. We want people to come across as genuine, and we want to make sure that the person that is going to be delivering the answer to the FAQ is a personable and confident person on camera. That's not always the case. Yep. And if the person in the department that gets that FAQ question is not is not the right person to be on camera, that's okay too. Yep. You can still get an authentic delivery from someone who's better suited to be on camera. Yep. That's going to represent the brand in the best way. And that's okay. It's okay if you go, hey, you're a little more confident on camera. Will you come over and do this for us? Yep. I have no problem with that. And I think it's perfectly reasonable to stay authentic to your brand, but put your best foot forward.
And incentivize your staff. I mean, maybe there's some things, you could do. I mean, a bonus there, since we're kind of talking about who goes on cameras, think about, longer tenured folks. Think about, think about your turnover. If that's a concern that you have, think about who's going to be on there. If it's somebody that your customer base is going to speak to first, maybe that's the person you might want them on. Yeah,
that's a great point.
They already meet the person that they're going to be working with. Just kind of be a little strategic about it. Now, where do you put this stuff? How do you get people to see it?
Well, so we're always going to say it needs to go on YouTube, because Google is king as of 2025. And it's going to be the best thing for visibility across the internet as a whole. Yep. And so uploading on there and then making sure that all of the back end tagging and things like that are picking up the keywords that people are going to search. And then once it's on YouTube, then you can place it all over the place. You can embed it in your website. You can take that same video and put it on the platforms that your customers are on. But start with hosting it. We like to say hosting it on YouTube is step one.
Think about your customer's journey, right? We always talk about strategy and business goals and your customer's experience with you. FAQs don't have to live in one place. They don't have to, you do what you want with them, and not just put them on an FAQ page, but you might have a product and then have an FAQ that relates to it. Throw that in there with the product. The whole goal here is to just make everything that much better for your business and your customer's journey, right? So, okay, so use FAQ videos then. In sales and customer support workflows. What a great segue.
Oh yeah. So that, somebody shoots an email over with a question. If you've got a piece of video content, you can go, hey, just take a look at this
real quick. And we can talk right after, you know what I mean?
We might can get to the point. We can get to the point really quick. There also is an opportunity there. If you're getting a question over and over, you may have a system in place where you can make a quick video as a response to that question. And now you have an asset for the next time. So these FAQs, while it's great for them to be produced in a lot of cases, sometimes it's better to just get it done. And then you now have an asset that can solve that problem because you've gotten the question 3 times today.
And so you might use that too and sort of implement that in the sales process.
Yep.
Right. So at this point, the salesperson might follow back up and then include this asset.
Yep.
Just kind of drop this into that process. So a video playlist too. It's another way, you've got one that can play right after the next one, and you just kind of create a journey on this question's asked, and what's the next thing? Okay, where are you located? All right, cool. And now what? Oh, office hours now, and you just have people guide them right through 60 seconds at a time.
And your FAQ videos, they can be entertaining. They need to get to the point, but you should still care about the person enjoying the content. So,
all right. So if you've already got an FAQ page, start making them and start using them, because you're not going to regret it. It's going to be a huge boost for your business. It's going to be a huge connection and engagement point with your target customer.
That's it.
All right. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on YouTube. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We drop episodes weekly to help small business owners and business leaders use video marketing to grow and scale their operations.